Every year, professional fund managers with teams of analysts, real-time data, and decades of experience try to beat the market by picking individual stocks. Most of them fail, not occasionally, consistently, year after year, according to long-running industry studies. If the professionals struggle this badly, what does that actually mean for someone doing this with a laptop and a weekend? Let's start with the problem. A lot of beginners assume investing means finding the right stocks, the next big company before everyone else notices it. It feels exciting, and it feels like the obvious path to building wealth quickly. But that assumption skips over a much more important question. Compared to what? Compared to simply owning a small piece of the entire market at once. Here's why most people get this wrong. Picking individual stocks feels like skill. Buying an index fund feels passive, almost boring. That emotional difference convinces a lot of people that stock picking must be the smarter, more sophisticated approach. Feeling smarter and actually performing better are two very different things, and the data on this specific comparison has been studied extensively for decades. Let's break down the financial explanation. An index fund is a single investment that holds small pieces of many different companies at once. An S&P 500 index fund, for example, holds pieces of 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the United States. Instead of trying to identify which individual companies will outperform, you're simply betting on the broad, collective growth of the market as a whole. Picking individual stocks means selecting specific companies you believe will outperform that broader market. This requires accurately predicting which companies will grow faster than average, while also accurately predicting which companies to avoid because they'll underperform or fail. You have to be right twice, in a sense, right about what to buy, and right about what not to buy, across every single decision. Here's a real, well-documented comparison that illustrates the scale of this challenge. Research tracking actively managed mutual funds, funds where professional managers pick individual stocks trying to beat the market, has repeatedly shown that a large majority of these funds fail to outperform a simple S&P 500 index fund over long periods, often 10, 15, or 20 years. This isn't a one-time finding. It's a pattern that's shown up consistently across many different studies and time periods, though results do vary somewhat by fund category and specific time frame examined. This is genuinely surprising to a lot of people. These are professionals, people with financial degrees, teams of analysts, access to research most individual investors will never see, and it's still their full-time job to beat the market. And most of them still don't manage to do it consistently over long periods. Here's why that happens, and it comes down to a concept called diversification. Diversification means spreading your money across many different investments rather than concentrating it in just one or a handful. When you pick individual stocks, even a well-researched handful, you're concentrating your risk into those specific companies. If even one or two of them perform poorly, it can significantly drag down your entire portfolio, regardless of how well your other picks perform. An index fund, by holding hundreds of companies simultaneously, spreads that risk out so dramatically that the failure of any single company has a comparatively small impact on your overall investment. Let's look at a real-world example to make this concrete. Imagine two investors starting with the same amount of money. Investor A spends hours researching and picks 10 individual stocks they believe will outperform the market. Investor B simply buys a low-cost S&P 500 index fund and does nothing else. Over the next 15 years, Investor A might have a few picks that perform exceptionally well, but statistically, based on long-term industry data, they're also likely to have some picks that significantly underperform or fail outright. Investor B's diversified index fund doesn't depend on any single company's success. It depends on the broad, collective performance of the U.S. economy as a whole, which, historically, over long periods, has trended upward, though this is never guaranteed for any specific future period and short-term declines are common along the way. Now let's address a common myth directly, because this is where a lot of beginners get misled. Many people believe that if you're smart enough, disciplined enough, or do enough research, you can reliably beat the market by picking individual stocks. This isn't necessarily about intelligence or effort. Professional fund managers are highly intelligent and put enormous effort into this exact task, and the data still shows most of them don't consistently outperform a simple index fund over long periods. Markets are extremely difficult to predict consistently, largely because so much publicly available information gets priced into stocks almost immediately by millions of other investors and institutions doing the exact same research. Beating the market consistently isn't just difficult, it's difficult even for people whose entire job is trying to do exactly that. This doesn't mean individual stock picking never works for anyone, or that nobody has ever succeeded at it. Some professional investors have outperformed the market over specific long periods. But identifying in advance who those specific investors will be, before the fact rather than after, has proven to be extraordinarily difficult, even for other financial professionals studying this exact question. Let's talk about compound interest, because this is where the comparison becomes especially important over long time frames. Compound interest means your investment returns generate their own additional returns over time, which is why consistent growth, even at a moderate rate, tends to compound into something significant over decades. If picking individual stocks leads to inconsistent results, some years strong, some years poor, some picks failing entirely, that inconsistency can quietly interrupt the compounding process. A diversified index fund, by contrast, tends to capture the broad market's overall long-term growth trend more reliably, giving compound interest a steadier foundation to build on, year after year, without depending on any single stock-picking decision working out. So what does this mean practically for a beginner deciding how to approach this? The first consideration is cost. Actively managed funds, ones where professional managers pick individual stocks, often charge higher fees than simple index funds, since research, analysis, and active management require more resources to run. Over long periods, these higher fees compound as well, quietly eating into returns even in years when a fund happens to perform reasonably well. Index funds tend to have significantly lower costs, specifically because they simply track a broad market segment rather than requiring constant active decision-making. The second consideration is time and effort. Successfully picking individual stocks, if it's even possible consistently, generally requires substantial ongoing research, monitoring company performance, industry trends, and broader economic conditions. This isn't a one-time decision. It's an ongoing commitment. A diversified index fund requires none of that ongoing research, which matters enormously for someone without hours of spare time to dedicate to studying individual companies. The third consideration is diversification itself, which we've already covered, but deserves restating clearly. An index fund spreads risk across hundreds of companies. Individual stock picking, even when done thoughtfully, concentrates risk into a much smaller number of decisions, any one of which failing can meaningfully impact your entire portfolio. Here's the key insight most people miss entirely in this debate. The question isn't really, can someone pick individual stocks successfully? Some clearly can, at least for periods of time. The more useful question for a typical beginner is, what's the realistic likelihood that I specifically will outperform a simple, low-cost, diversified index fund, consistently, over the next 20 or 30 years, after accounting for fees, taxes, and my own available time and expertise? For the overwhelming majority of individual investors, based on decades of accumulated data, that answer leans heavily toward the index fund. This doesn't mean stock picking is inherently wrong or that nobody should ever do it. Some investors enjoy the research process itself and choose to dedicate a smaller portion of their overall portfolio specifically to individual stock selection, while keeping the majority of their long-term investments in diversified index funds. That's a reasonable, balanced approach for someone who understands both the appeal and the historical odds involved. So here's your actionable takeaway. If you're a beginner deciding where to focus your long-term investing, a low-cost, diversified index fund gives you exposure to the broad market's long-term growth without requiring you to correctly predict which individual companies will succeed. If you also want to explore individual stock picking, consider doing so with a smaller portion of your overall portfolio, treating it as something separate from your core long-term investing strategy, rather than betting your entire financial future on consistently outperforming a game that even full-time professionals struggle to win. If you want to learn more about investing, wealth building, and financial freedom, subscribe to Finance Lab and turn on notifications.